Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. How does one refrain from being greedy in modern times? Again, this now is a direct correlation with our previous question, because we spoke about how the problem of wealth is a greater problem than the problem of poverty. And the problem of wealth is associated with a number of illnesses, one of them being greed. And greed, or love of dunya in this case, because greed in English is, it has various nuances of meaning, whereas in the Islamic paradigm, there are very specific terms and diseases associated. So, for example, the greed or the lust of the private parts would be considered shahwatul farj, what we would say lust. Then there's shahwatul batan, the greed of the stomach. And then when it comes to greed of material goods or material possession, then we refer to that as hubbud dunya or hubbul mal, right? The love of material things, so materialistic in a sense. How does one refrain from being greedy in modern times? There are a number of ways to approach this question. To refrain from being greedy, one should first and foremost cultivate a sense of appreciation and contentment. So gratitude and contentment would be the most key factors in saving ourselves through the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from an overbearing sense of materialism. Why contentment and gratitude? Because when we experience, even if we just focus on gratitude alone, when we implement gratitude, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, that if you are grateful, I will certainly increase you. Now, one way of understanding this is that when we express gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that through our act of shukr, through our gratitude to Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal then increases us in material blessings or in reward. But another way that we can also understand this, and that is equally valid, would be that when we experience gratitude for what we have, then what we have will automatically be more for us. It would mean more to us. It would be much more fulfilling for us. Let's take a very small example, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Someone has a car, and the car is not the best of vehicles, right? It's perhaps an older car. It perhaps gives occasional issues. It requires a bit of TLC, right? However, this person moves from a point of ingratitude where they don't care much for the car, they don't like the car, they don't appreciate the car, and then suddenly they are privy to some blessing and they experience gratitude. They now feel grateful for that car. That very same vehicle that was previously insufficient and inadequate and wasn't very favorable to this individual now becomes something that they find very appealing, very comforting. They are grateful for what they have. That blessing of that vehicle remained the same in a sense, in a physical sense. But because this person had changed their outlook and had experienced gratitude, they find more benefit out of this vehicle. So gratitude is one of the keys to becoming more content and appreciating what we have, and therefore we would not find this constant need for more or for something better or for something else. So focusing on the blessings that one already has is one of the key forms of gratitude. Also, in terms of contentment, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam had clearly advised us that be content with what Allah Ta'ala had given you, and you will be the richest of people, right? So in Islam, in order to experience a sense of affluence or abundance, instead of going for surplus, simply go for gratitude and contentment. Find joy in what Allah Ta'ala had given you, and you will not be left wanting. You won't want to see more and something else. Greed and the love of material goods is a major distraction. It's a major cause of distraction for the believer, in that we are responsible and answerable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what He had given us. And this is clearly spelled out in the Quran in various ways. For example, Surah Al-Takathur, Al-Hakum Al-Takathur, at the end of the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. You will be questioned on that day about the blessings that you had been blessed with. So we need to count our blessings, show appreciation for that. And when we find appreciation and gratitude, inshallah ta'ala, we will be saved from needing or seemingly needing more and better, and ridding ourselves of the sense of greed, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.